Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're diving deep into one of my favorite categories of bourbon. That's right, it's Double Oak Night. And not just any Double Oak Night, it's Peerless Double Oak. So we're going to give you that full review. I can't wait. I'm excited. Generally love Double Oak bourbons. It's right up my flavor alley. They're usually deep, dark, and intense. And delicious. So let's grab that bottle and take a look at it. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful bottle from Peerless. Look at this. It's like a mini barrel. I mean, it's got a hefty weight to the glass. I mean, first of all, what's the first thing we're going to notice? How it's midnight black, the color on this. That already looks delicious. I don't need to even try it. I already know it's going to be delicious when the whiskey's that dark. So if you're not familiar, Peerless is kind of craft. It's up there. Kind of shares that Wilderness Trail, Chattanooga kind of path that those are the ones I like, right? I have, believe it or not, have not tried any other Peerless products besides this. So if you lucky viewers have a Peerless single barrel or a Peerless rye or some other fun Peerless product, go ahead and shoot me an email and send me a sample and I'll be sure to review it. But this is the only Peerless that I've ever gotten. Here in PA, they don't really carry Peerless, except I think they do carry the Peerless just regular bourbon and the Peerless rye. I think I have seen them, but that's like a new thing for 2022. Before 2022, they didn't carry any Peerless. PA does not carry the Double Oak, so had to get this elsewhere. But there you go. So, big fan of Double Oak. Been hearing things about this, and I had to try it. So, for those that are interested in the facts now, though, this comes in at 109.1 proof. Compute, 54.55% alcohol by volume. Those with astute minds might remember that last year's release was 107 and something. So the 2022 release, as far as I know, is 109.1. So if you have another 2022 release that's a different proof, let me know in the comments below. The batch really isn't relevant here because it's a bunch of numbers. Now, one thing I do find interesting about Peerless, a few things here about this Double Oak, they are putting it in both new charred oak barrels. So we get that initial fill, bourbon, and then for the second barrel, they just, here's another brand new barrel, dump it in there too. That's why it looks so dark. A lot of companies don't do two brand new barrels. Some of them will do a toasted or some other different type of barrel, but they don't generally do two brand new barrels. Now, this is, on the back here, this fun label, it is non-chill filtered. Well, that's good. It is barrel proof. Then they say no water added. Kind of the same thing, but that's nice to know. And then we get strictly sweet mash. So, probably a low barrel entry proof. I think their barrel entry proof is 107. So this one, gained 2 proof points while it aged. For how long, we do not know. And they use sweet mash. The other person using sweet mash is Wilderness Trail, which I'll link one of my Wilderness Trail videos above. Excellent stuff. If you ever have a chance to pick one of those up, certainly do. So let's get into it. Peerless Double Oak. Well, like we've said, beautiful color. Nice and viscous in the glass. Let's give it a nosing. Oh my God, it smells like Christmas. I just get heavy oak, surprise. I get like a chocolate hazelnut, tons of oak. There's leather here. The proof stings you a little bit on the nose if you get too far in there. I get tons of baking spices. This is a leather oak baking spice bomb. Besides the oak, it is a little like woody. I will get like a wood scent in there. And I almost say there's like a Almost like a gingerbread man cookie. I guess it's just a gingerbread cookie, but gingerbread man since we're heading towards Christmas here. Gosh, the nose is phenomenal. I will say though, if you are not a fan of oak and leather, this probably is not going to be for you. So let's take a sip. Holy Moses, that's delicious. Very intense, very rich, deep and dark. This is on the hairy end of double oak. I mean, if you had a scale of double oaks, like Woodford double oak would be here. This is like off the charts in terms of double oak. Let's take one more sip. The first sip is some sweet baking spices, some chocolate. The middle of the palate, I get like a gingerbread flavor. In the back end, it's like, boom, a wall of oak. So, wall of oak. Long finish. 109 proof is fantastic. If you're used to other double oaks, which we'll compare some here in a minute, they're generally lower proof. I'm glad they've released a double oak at 109 barrel strength. It's really good. But this is, if you like double oaks that are kind of mellow and smooth, I don't know if this is going to be the one for you. It's got its crescendo of flavors, like I said. You get the baking spices. I almost get like a sweet oak and fruit kind of up front too. Then the gingerbread, and then boom, the oak and wood and leather comes in at the end, and a good long finish. I mean, this is fantastic. Let's take one more. A lot of those same flavors, and I'll tell you what, this is probably going to make my top 10 of 2022. That's how much I enjoy it. I get no hints of youth, nothing like that. We don't know how long it's aged, but I don't think it's that long. I mean, Peerless is doing crafted. Generally, that's not super high age stuff, but the double barrel, they're doing some good stuff here with this double oak. It's a A+ rating from Bourbon Bill, and that is a you should buy and buy a backup if you can find it. It's pretty limited as far as I know to find it. Price on these is $80 to $110 a bottle, so it is on the more expensive end of double oaks, I will say. But I would say if you find one for $90, $100, absolutely buy it if you're a fan of double oaks. Now, this wouldn't be Bourbon Bill's channel if we didn't, just give you a little bit more. So we're going to compare it to some of my favorite double oaks. So first up, Old Forester 1910. There it is, my favorite little 375. Probably, if it wasn't for the Peerless, probably the king of double oaks. Old Forester 1910, readily available, at least in Pennsylvania. Delicious. 93 proof. Old fine whiskey, as Old Forester says, right on the label. And this is 50 doll hairs here in the state of Pennsylvania. Also dark, but there's some water added to this one. Let's give it a nosing. Oh, this just has that marshmallow and graham cracker and just like toasted notes of oak. It's very delicious smelling. Let's take a sip. Totally a different experience. This is very sweet. This is very marshmallowy and toasty. Delicious. I love those flavors, but it's very... You got that campfire, toasted marshmallow, s'mores, campfire, and then the oak comes in at the end. Very good. Obviously not as viscous and not quite as long of a finish, being 93 proof, but that's delicious for half price. It certainly doesn't drink half as good as the Peerless, I will say. Old Forester is delicious, but I do prefer the Peerless. Alright, last but not least, Sagamore Spirits Double Oak Rye. Couldn't forget my rye drinkers here. Also, arguably one of the best double oak products out there besides 1910. This one's 50 to 60, so slightly more expensive than the 1910. Also easily found. This is 4 to 5 year old MGP that they put for another 18 months in toasted wave stave barrels. And I will link my review of this above. I have reviewed this separately. Gorgeous bottle in the Sagamore, by the way, as well. Also, nice dark color. So on the nose, this is very like, I get like coconut, I get like very red fruit, and that oak on the nose on this one. Let's take a sip. That's very fruit jammy. You get like toasted notes. I get like a coconut on it. It's more fruity than the other two. So, what have we learned tonight? We've learned that these are all A pluses, all buys. The Peerless Double Oak, though, is on the extreme end of the oak woodiness, that chocolate, the leather. It really is, and I find that delicious. I like those bold, punchy flavors. But if you like a sweeter, lower proof one, I would pick the 1910 or the Sagamore Double Oak if you prefer a rye. So I hope this helped you tonight to further your Double Oak journey. So if you like what we saw here tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.